Obviously, when you're a marginalized person, you are absolutely held to a different standard. And that is precisely what people are trying to do. MrBeast update for the record. He's posted about the Ava Kris Tyson situation. Over the last few days, I've become aware of serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online. I'm disgusted and post such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. Yeah. Third party investigation? No, it's just like, yeah, MrBeast is a massive international brand.
Yeah, this is the same thing that like ExxonMobil does. You hire a law firm that does an investigation, blah, blah, blah.
Jimmy knew ChatGPT. No, this isn't ChatGPT. This is like an actual good lawyer that, like, no.
This is a lawyer that you don't get from Twitter.
Yeah, this is not Elon Musk style situation. Most written with legal advice ever. Yeah. So this is straight up like a swift exit. I mean, what the else is he supposed to do? Yeah, I mean, I don't expect him to do anything else in this circumstance. Yeah, he's gonna conduct an investigation. I mean, it makes total sense given not only what the actions are, and beyond that, the fact that Ava is trans, of course, does not help cause any sort of sympathy from anybody that looks at that, regardless, especially because it was like greatly boosted by a lot of people. Even if what she said wasn't gross, which I don't think that is, I think what she did was gross for the record. But even if what she did wasn't even gross or inappropriate, weird, people would have still made this a PR nightmare regardless. And it happens to be a situation where it is like, it does absolutely hit the weirdness shit. In the immediate aftermath of Dr. Disrespect's story, nobody went around and went, every white man is a freak. Okay. Like, you have this weird tendency. A lot of people have this weird tendency when it's like a black person doing a crime. Oh, this is how all black people are, is like the immediate reaction. Whenever a marginalized community member does something that is inappropriate or, you know, completely illegal, right? Everybody jumps on the bandwagon to be like, everyone is responsible. Every person of this background has done this. And, you know, it didn't happen with Cody Co either. Ain't nobody ran around saying all white men are doing this. It doesn't even happen in terms of like all YouTubers in general, even though many YouTubers have been caught doing this kind of shit, or many streamers in general have been caught doing this kind of shit. So it doesn't work that way. Obviously, when you're a marginalized person, you are absolutely held to a different standard. And that is precisely what people are trying to do. All DJs though, ... Yeah.
I don't think David Guetta has ever done anything bad.
Yeah, he fixed racism.
Yeah. David Guetta united the country.
Yeah. It was awesome when he destroyed white supremacy.
Yeah.
Is that comment that Jimmy made about Bad Baby real? Yes, of course. That's the other side of the story, is that like he and Ava were like they were all 2016, 2014, 2015, 2013. They were all edgy. They were all like super edgy content creators that like made jokes all the time. The problem is, for Ava at least, she had not come out or even recognized that she was trans back then. So of course, when they were popping off, they were defended and seen as like edgy white boys. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the difference. Wasn't MrBeast 11 in 2016? Yeah, they were young as. That's the other side of it. It's just like they're still kind of young, if I'm not mistaken.
In general, I just don't like the idea of like holding people's like public posts they made when they were like even 16 against them, you know?
Yeah, they were 16 in 2016. People forget MrBeast was a PewDiePie stand during the Felix weird arc. Yeah,
I didn't have that.
What?
I'm kidding.
Wait, what? I don't know.
Because his name's Felix. I like doing.
Oh, you did the classic Felix bit. Yeah. Oh my god, chat does that every time, dude. Every time they're like, XQC's coming on the stream, and it's like, yeah, dude, XQC's coming on the stream, dude. Not. Oh my god. Jimmy was 18 in 2016, not 16. Okay, regardless, bro. Okay, he was young as is my point. Okay, he's a teenager at that point. And that's not a good enough excuse regardless, because again, I remember that time online. I was online at that time. And let me tell you, I was getting harassed pretty much not to the same degree, of course, but I didn't have the same like security and the same safety net or the community at the time. But I was at the Young Turks and I was getting shitted on nonstop by all the edgy white boy YouTubers. Not to say that was what MrBeast was doing, but like pretty much the entire space was very aggro back then, which is why I always bring that up. Like the internet has definitely gotten a lot better. It's getting worse now with like Twitter. I remember like that era, 2014, like the Gamergate era was pretty bad. There was not really a lot of avenues for leftist content. Like that didn't really exist.
Yeah, no.
And then Chapo Trap House came out.
The first podcast.
Yeah, the first podcast to ever do it.
If people could see my post from 2018, they would kill me. Not because I said anything like, like that bad, but it was just like, I would like at Jim Norton and be like, great episode today. I wasn't a fully formed human yet.
Yeah.
I was replying to UFC fighters and being like, good job.
It was annoying back then. People just thought it was cool to be a terrible person without any reasoning or justification, just clout. Yeah. And plenty of people did get clouted up off that shit, which is why it almost reflected like kick style degeneracy in some ways.
Yeah.
That's why when you look back at that's why the joke is like whenever you look back at a video from like 2014, you're like, there is going to be people saying slurs in this video for sure.
With Kick, what's so weird about like Kick is that it's like if that stuff like pre-2015 internet, if it was like institutionalized to a high degree,
like YouTube,
that's what's so strange about it.
YouTube actively supported and facilitated kick shit on a regular basis on its platform. Every platform does that, by the way. It's basically like a cheat code to grow, because pretty much somewhere along the line, like they figured out, oh, if we have like super right-wing and unhinged content, like people just stay on the platform more. Turns out these neck-bearded basement-dwelling weirdos spend a ton of time online, and that's really good. That's like really good if you're trying to generate ad revenue and time on site. And that's precisely what they did. And they just kind of let that shit loose. Yeah, go watch my like old PewDiePie videos on my channel, or go watch my old like Jordan Peterson video at the Young Turks from like 2018, and you will see what that era looked like. Now, obviously, there's still, Asman chatters call it the golden era. Exactly. That's all you need to know. Okay. That's all you need to know about that era of the internet. Oh yeah, I guess there's no volunteering or praxis watching YouTube. What praxis? Well, like, no, there's no praxis or volunteering at all in this situation. I'm just saying that like there was a lot of insane hate rating happening at the time. It was definitely slur galore back then, for sure.
I think the internet is like, it's very cyclical. I used to see it in terms of like 3-year patterns, like 2014 through 2017 through 2020 were all like transformative years, right? Where there would be like a sort of uptick of like right wing or whatever, or even just like, like edgy or whatever content. And then like a massive left liberal reaction stage to it. That was sort of like the rule, was that like every 3 years there was a rise and a fall like that. And it's really stopped happening once Biden got in there, that there was sort of like an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah. I mean, there'd
be like these waves of moderation that happened.
Yeah. I mean, it would only come after like an insane amount of backlash from mainstream media where they were like, can you deal with that? What's going on? And then only after that, YouTube would be like, oh, my bad. I guess we should fix that. Oops.
I think it's changed because like Twitter was such a part of that like push and pull.
Yeah.
Where like reaction to that stuff would kind of like, it would coalesce on Twitter. And now that's not really the case anymore.
Yeah. Now there is no like different avenue where people, I guess TikTok still operates in that vein.
Yeah. I mean, it's just different. Like people age out of things. The younger generations are on like different things.
Yeah. A lot of people naturally grew up because they were teens, young 20s, and they are late 20s, 30s now and are completely different people now, and which is good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm a different person than I was a few years ago.
Would you say that it's an accurate statement to say the far right wingers spend more time than online far left wingers? I mean, there's just a smaller amount of left wingers.
I don't know how I could quantify that, too,
There's just less like far left wingers in general than like people who are far right, if we're talking about like political extremes in terms of like what is permissible in American politics, like I think that there are significantly more like out and about extremely right wing, like beyond Fox News, or at least Fox News adjacent and beyond Fox News right wingers. And that dynamic exists. Like the broadest population is still liberal, and that liberal population is like all the way from, you know, social democrats to you know, Fox News Republican racists, right? But what I'm talking about is like outside of that equation, and then you have like, I guess, socialists.
Yeah.
And the socialist number is like way smaller, in my opinion, in the Western media, in America especially.
I do. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people who like, they might even like categorize themselves as far left, but their actual beliefs, what they boil down to, may not actually be that. It's more like left liberal.
Who, far left?
Yeah, no, I think there are people who like self-identify as far left online who aren't really quite sure what that means.